YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Bargain Bin Gear. And let me tell you something. Hopefully you're subscribing and watching previous videos, because I often refer to them. Well, in this video, as you'll know, and if you've been following the channel, I've been dealing with a bunch of little tiny amps, little solid state amps for the most part. Good for a coffee house kind of gig and things. And as a result, I was thinking, well, I've got this Bugera T5 tube head, which you can see here. Alright, now here's the orange PPC 108 cabinet, and there's the Bugera T5 tube head. And it's got one power tube, one 12AX7 preamp tube, and it has a gain control, treble, bass, reverb, and volume, and a nice power toggle switch there with the LED. Yeah, it's very nice. Okay, so this little tube head, when I was thinking of selling it, well, I went ahead and just as a test, really, hooked it up to my little orange PPC 108 cabs and was astounded. At the sound of it, you know. Anyway, I was astounded by the sound of it. I mean, it just sounds fantastic. And you really do get the tube sound and the tube feel of it even. And the tube feel of it, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's kind of a roundness to each note. Yeah, just a really nice sound. Yeah, and even in the higher registers, anyway, so basically I get a fantastic sound, you know, the sound kind of like I wanted. These little Bugeras, they're 5-watt tube amps. They have one power tube and one preamp tube, as far as I remember. Yeah. And they sound great. And the best part is the tube heads, the T5 goes for $219 new. So it goes to reason that used you would find them for less, right? I don't know. I would assume probably $150, something like that, right? And just a man, great sound. Okay, so it goes to reason that, well, these tube amps are just blowing away the solid state amps, right? As far as the quality of sound, you know, and well, it made me rethink a bunch of things, you know, kind of like, well, you know, if I can get them very cheaply, you know, like $150 each or what have you, right? Then I am asking myself, well, why am I messing with these solid state amps, right? They don't sound nearly as good. I mean, it's not even close, let's put it that way. So instead of selling the Bugera T5 heads, right, I'd rather buy them, right? Because they're so inexpensive, yet the sound quality is just amazing, you know? And for whatever reason, it works great with these little orange PPC 108 cabinets, which have a little 8-inch speaker or something. But the sound quality is astounding, really, especially when you add a bass amp and things, as I did with the small solid states, right? So this really makes me rethink quite a few things. And last time we did a video on this Marshall solid state amp, which is decent. I mean, it's not a bad amp, but it can get a little noisy for one thing. But beyond that, just the quality of sound, right, is very different than the tube amp. Okay, just to show you the difference, here I'm plugged into the Marshall. Keep in mind, I have the tube amp on the other side, so let me do this. I'll turn it down on that side so you can hear the Marshall. now I've got the Bugera turned back on. Let's hear that. And same settings. It's got a much warmer sound and kind of rounder sound. I don't know how to explain it. Whereas the solid state's kind of a lot more trebly. You know, granted, I could turn the treble up on the Bugera tube amp, but to me, to my ears, it would still sound better than the. Now, granted, it's going to cost a little bit more. You know, because the Marshall, I mean, I got it for $40 or something like that. So, you know, whereas the Bugera, I'm assuming, probably $150 somewhere in there, give or take $25 either way. However, I'm quite sold on the Bugeras now because the sound is just fantastic. And I get this kind of, when I'm playing, the feeling is much nicer than I do get on the solid state. I can't explain exactly. Now, that doesn't mean that all the solid states are going to go, right? Because I like the little Fender Frontman 10G, you know, but it's not anywhere near the sound of the Bugera head, you know, and they also make the 5-watt tube combo, the Bugera V5, right? And I like it very well as well. The sound is great, but the little T5s, I had no idea. You know, I don't know why. I just I don't know, maybe I just didn't have the settings right or something. But they used to kind of not have a much headroom, you know. But I find that the settings I have now are really nice. It's a really nice sound. So as a result, I'm going to sell some of the solid state amps. You know, if not all of them, I don't know. We'll see. I suppose when you go play at coffee house, you know, the equipment you bring, you know, you don't necessarily want to bring your best stuff. Because I'll tell you what, from playing live shows, especially in the past, man, your gear takes a beating. You know, I mean, everything from man, I played a restaurant kind of place one, and I swear, all my gear smelled of that restaurant for like a couple weeks. Couldn't get it out. It was terrible. You know, but they take a beating from being knocked over, knocked around, moved around, you know, those kinds of things. So the little Bugera heads, I was afraid, you know, that they get messed up or something. However, you know, if you can find them for the $150 or less, you know, it still would be worthwhile then to take them out on gigs and things, you know, because the sound is just fantastic. You know, when I compare that to the solid states. On the other hand, the solid states, you know, have $40. You know, if they get knocked over or stolen or what have you, you know, quite easy to replace, I guess. So this is quite a reversal after messing around with all these little solid state amps, you know. I kind of feel I was going in the wrong direction when in reality the Bugera T5 head is exactly the sound I'm looking for, you know, this really nice, warm, clean sound. Very interesting. So, as a result, I'm definitely going to sell some of these little tiny amps and hold on to the Bugera, the T5 head. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, there's just no denying that, you know, a tube amp sounds, to my ears, better than a solid state amp. Depending, you know, that's for my clean sound that I like. I can get a nice clean sound on the solid states. Definitely brighter and not quite as warm though. You know, and the feel is different too. You know, the Bugera sound, clean sound, tube amp sound, kind of a spongy feel to it, whereas the solid state amps are kind of more brittle, if you like, feel wise. Hard to explain, I guess. So this, wow, brings me to a definite change in where I'm going with these little amps. And in fact, I was considering getting another little Marshall, you know, but in the end, you know, it's not an amp I'm really happy with. You know, I'd much rather put that money towards a Bugera tube head, you know. I just really like them, man. I like the sound of it, you know. Whereas the solid states, don't get me wrong, they don't sound bad. They just don't, to me, sound as good as the Bugeras. And if I was playing out, you know, and one was damaged or stolen, you know, yes, of course I'd be upset. But they're inexpensive enough that they wouldn't be that hard to replace, I guess. Let's hope that never happens, but you never know. But yeah, what a difference, man. Surprising. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you, that, you know, maybe I've been going in the wrong direction, in a way. Because, I mean, just, wow. Great with pedals too, you know. I think what I'll do is probably, you know, I'll keep the, maybe, I have 4 of the Fender Frontman 10Gs now. And I may keep 2 of them. Definitely sell 2 of them. I'm going to sell the Marshall as well. You know. I have the 2 little orange Crush 12s. I may keep those too. You know, I just find the orange have a little different kind of sound to it. Anyway, what a big surprise, man. You know, I had forgotten really how good the tube amps sound in comparison to the solid states, or at least these solid states, little tiny amps. You know. On the other hand, it's kind of nice too to, you know, take a couple $40 amps to play it, you know, a coffee house or what have you, and not have to really worry that much about your gear, you know. Doesn't mean you're gonna bust it up or anything. Still take care of it, but it's not quite a big deal as a tube amp, I guess. Alright, very good. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.